Hello, everybody, and welcome to Google Educator Group New England's May monthly meetup. My name is Jeff Bradbury, and with me, as always, is an amazing group of Googlers. And over the next hour, we're going to be taking you through all the great updates for Google and Google Education. And we are broadcasting live right now on 2 YouTube channels, on three Facebook feeds, and on Periscope. We want to hear from you guys. If you're out there live, please let us know. Leave a comment, leave a like, and of course, subscribe to that channel. I want to bring on today all of our friends at Google New England. That's not the right screen. Hey guys, how are you today? Everybody say hello. It is so great to see everybody out there. Jennifer Judkins, how are you today from the great state of Massachusetts? What's going on, my friend?
I'm doing great, and I'm super pumped to hear all about Moat, which I think everybody should know about. I'm excited about today's show.
I am so looking forward to hearing about it. Jen, why don't you do us a big favor, and why don't you introduce our entire panel today? Jen, take it away.
Oh my goodness, this is a lot of pressure. All right, so, and you took away the screen so I don't see everyone's faces, but that's okay, I know them all. All right. All right, so our special guest tonight is Greg Kulwick, who is coming from, he works in the great state of Massachusetts, as well as all kinds of other places, right, Greg? And for EdTech teacher, doing consulting and training across the country, but he is also working to support Moat and teachers using Moat. So he is coming to us as a Moat ambassador tonight and going to be able to share all about this amazing tool. And our team of leaders from Google Educator Group New England, Eric Lawson, representing the great state of Maine. Hey, Eric, great to see you tonight. Jen Thomas, coming to us from Rhode Island, and Jolie Boucher, coming from Massachusetts. And Christina DiMicelli is coming to us from New Hampshire. So great to have such a great group of people. Every time I get together with these folks, I learn something new. And I'm so grateful for that. So I know that the audience will take away some things that they can turn around and use tomorrow.
And that's, of course, what we're hoping to do. We've got a great lineup today, guys. And, of course, if you're out there live, leave a comment. We would love to hear from you guys. And, of course, let us know where you guys are. And don't forget to share on social media using the hashtag GEG New England. We're going to talk today about some of the great new updates with Google. We're going to spotlight our Moat. We're going to talk about some of our favorite ed tech resources to end the year with. And of course, it wouldn't be a GEG meetup without sharing some of the new live events coming up your way. Are you guys ready? All right. I don't think we got that. Are you guys ready out there?
Yeah, that was too quick.
Yes.
Woohoo, all good.
All right, let's just go on there and talk about some of the great new updates. There's a lot of wonderful things happening in the world of Google Education. The first thing out there is search in Chrome tabs. Who wants to talk a little bit about this?
Right here, Jeff. I'm super pumped about this. I, like all of our listeners, I would imagine, are heavy Chrome users. And sometimes your tabs get so dense, it can be difficult to read the actual text on the tab to know where you see the icon, but it's not enough, particularly if you're looking at Google Drive files. And so while there are other strategies that I like to use to group tabs, one of the things that can be really helpful is newly available in the latest Chrome update, which has a drop-down icon in the top right corner. When you click that drop down, you can begin typing in search keyword. And if that is in the title of the tab, it will immediately lift that to the top so you can click on it, making navigation to a tab that you're trying to locate super fast. I love it. It's a time saver, and those little seconds add up throughout my day.
That is a pretty cool tip, especially for those out there using laptops or smaller Chromebooks that don't have a lot of those real estate things. Jen, how do we go ahead and pick up this little thing? Is this available on Chrome? Is this a Chrome extension? How do we get one of these again?
Yeah, so this is in the latest update of Chrome. So if you're not seeing it, then be sure to click the 3 dots on the top right corner, go down to About, under Help, About Google Chrome, and you'll be able to click to update Chrome so that you're running the latest version. And that's good for a number of reasons, not the least of which is to get this new feature.
All right, now we've got some new and exciting things in the world of Google Meet. Who wants to share these great updates with us?
Oh, that's me. I'm super excited about this. All right, so there are Meet layout changes coming any day to educators everywhere. Finally, the control bar is going to be moving to the bottom of the screen rather than things being in all different locations. So all the controls that you need to control a Meet and to participate in a Meet are going to be along that bottom strip of the Meet, which is great. You are now going to be able to live preview what you're presenting to your group. So you will no longer see that big black box that says you are presenting your screen that takes up half your screen and you can't see your students. So that's going away. We're going to be able to see what we're presenting. And not only that, but we can unpin that tile. We'll be able to unpin that tile so it will be the same size as all of our students, so we can increase the number of students that we're seeing on the screen and also see a little snapshot of what we're seeing, what we're sharing with our students. We're also going to be able to move ourselves. So there are going to be options for us. So we can either float, we can pull ourselves out of the grid and drag and drop ourselves anywhere we want on the grid, or we can be part of the grid view itself with the rest of the members of our meeting. So I'm super excited about those updates.
That is pretty cool. Is everybody here excited about this? I mean, there's a lot of great things that are happening right now in the world of Google Meet, in the world of hybrid classrooms. And we've got a couple people making comments about it. But Eric, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I heard left and right when we were jumping into hybrid learning was not wanting to have to see your screen as the big screen when presenting, because you want to see all of your students, especially in those remote classrooms. We were seeing large numbers of kids. So the ability to shrink that down without having to really play around with 2 different displays or really minimizing your screen resolution, that one's fantastic. It's about time.
Nice. And let's go on to our next update over here. Rich text formatting in Google Classroom. Who's here to share with us about this?
That's me. I am really excited about this feature. I love adding emojis and just making things look really nice and clean for students and teachers. And with this latest update, I can now also add, I can bold the text, I can underline, I can italicize, add bullets. So the rich text formatting, I think, is a huge addition. It's a basic tool that is so needed. So I think teachers and students are going to be really happy to see that this has rolled out in their domains.
Total game changer. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And another, I use Moat with Google Classroom as well. So I don't know if you are familiar with Moat, but when you add the Moat extension, you will also have the ability to add a voice note right inside your post. So I love that that is available. And speaking of Moat, we do have a very special guest with us today. We have Mr. Greg Kulowick he's a Moat ambassador, and he is going to tell us more about Moat. But this really has been a must-have for me. And you can see over on the right that I have a voice note that I was including in my post. So the rich text feature is just a great addition. And then alongside Moat, it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. So Greg, we'd love to have you explain the powers of Moat today.
Yeah, let's do it. So first I have to say that Jen and Jolie, I'm super impressed with the quality of pronouncing my last name. It's like top 99 percentile of anyone who's ever said it outside of my family. So I appreciate that a ton. So like they said, my name is Greg Kulowick. I joined the Moat team recently as an education advocate in the United States. I just think it's a super powerful tool. It gives just so much capacity to being able to connect with students, clarify information, just create really high quality digital learning experiences. So what we'll try to do really quickly, like if you have no prior background with it, if you've never used it before, I'll do like the really quick overview of what it is. And then I want to do some live demos to show you some really interesting ways to use the tool, and then give you a ton of resources to walk away with. For the group here, have we all used it for the crew that's in the call right now? Yes, we're all on board with it. Awesome. So there's been even updates like in the past 2 days that even make it more powerful that I'll demo as well. So what is Moat? You know, the perspective on the team is that it's like talk more, type less. I was even doing a test last night, timing myself typing for 1 minute and then doing a 1 minute audio recording in Moat. And I got on average 3 times more feedback in an audio comment than when I typed comments in the margin of a Google Doc. Like I type relatively quickly. I'm like in that 60 to 70 words a minute. I talk way too fast, but it was like 200 words a minute speaking versus about 60 words a minute typing. So just that idea of like, you can leave audio comments across almost every Google environment. So you can do this in Google Docs, Google Slides, Forms, and Sheets. That's maybe one of the newer updates that you can drop audio into a Google form as a question. The kids can actually reply with audio now as well if they have the Moat extension installed. And then there's even an update on the Google Sheet side of things where the audio will play back in the sheet as a little drop-down box. It's not like a click through to get to another tab on a Moat page. It's all right inside of the sheet. Like it was mentioned earlier, Jolie, I think you mentioned that you can add audio notes through Moat in Google Classroom so kids can hear your audio feedback. Oh, I have 2 Google Classrooms there. That's odd. And then I'll give you some resources as well. So with that, let's just get into some live demos. Inside of a Google Doc, let me make this a bit bigger so you can see it a little bit. Inside of a Google Doc, there's 2 ways to use Moat. The most traditional way is if there's some student work that needs feedback, all I have to do is highlight that, add a comment, and then in the comment field, there's my little Moat icon. I click on it, it's recording my voice. When I'm done, just click done. It will process that file. I'll drop the comment, and then we have an audio note in the margin. So that's a really helpful way to leave feedback for students. If you have the free version of Moat, you have a 30-second audio clip. If you have the paid version, 90-second audio clip. If you sign up for it, if you're like a new user, you should get a 3-month kind of like premium upgrade just to really like kick it around and make sure you're super comfortable with it. That's super powerful. Here's what I'm really excited for. Have we all like created, used, built hyperdocs before? I'm assuming yes, like this digital document idea. Here's the newest update to Moat. Right, I'll do like click here to listen. So instead of using the Moat extension in the comment field, what I'm going to do instead is go up to my browser up in the top right and click on the Moat icon in the browser. You get a little drop down. I can record right here as well. So I'll tap on the Moat icon and now it's recording my voice straight through the Chrome extension. So I'll talk, explain, clarify, do whatever I need to do with audio that's going to help my students. When I hit done, it's going to save that. It automatically copies the link to my clipboard of that 10-second note that I dropped in at 8:28 p.m. Watch what happens now. If I highlight my text, add that hyperlink to that Moat audio file and hit apply, it now plays natively inside the document as a little pop-up audio box. And so if you think about the end user, the student, they don't need the Moat Chrome extension to play that audio inside the document. And now it's recording my voice. So imagine when you're building out these hyper documents now where like you can have embedded audio anywhere you want. You can drop the audio into an image, into text, any place that you want. So like that, I think is really powerful. I was super excited when that went live about 2 days ago. Let's shift over to Google Forms really quickly. Audio inside of a Google form. Here's a little demo Google form I mocked up, last name, first name, and then down here, let's add some audio. So I'll add a question, and anytime, oh, yikes, let me back out a little bit. Where did my Moat go? Let me do a refresh. This would be no good if this didn't work right. Oh, there it is, it's back, okay. So there's my new section, there's my question, and there's my little Moat audio button. So what I like about this is you can actually type the question out here, right? So they can get it with text if you want them to, and then you can supplement it or clarify it with audio, and that's what I'll do now. So here's an example of me adding audio into Google Forms directly with the Moat Chrome extension that's showing up natively inside of Google Forms. I'll hit done, give it a moment. I might put my options, my right answer, my distractor, whatever I want. As soon as I add a new question, that's what it's going to look like for the student when they land here. So just add that new question, it pops up. What's really nice about this is on the student side of things, I'll go to the viewing mode right now as well. Let's do this, Greg. Oops, we'll just do that to make it quick. Pull this in. Now we land here, and that's what the student gets to see. If you even create an open response prompt for students, they can record their voice in. So let me do that really quickly. We'll do paragraph here. Let's trash this one. Question, say something with Moat. All right, let's go live. So I'll push this through. Now I can record my voice. The kids would need the Chrome extension to have this capacity. But now I'm recording my voice as an audio entry for my teacher. And I love that idea, Jen. You commented about differentiation. Like imagine the ability to connect with students with audio and text, or remove that barrier of text only for this experience. We hit done. I'm going to submit that to my teacher. Here's the really cool part about the feedback. Let me just open up the spreadsheet right now so you can see this live. There's the Moat feedback from the student or the Moat submission. If we click on that, the teacher doesn't have, like a lot of tools, you have to bump out to another tab and then come back to the spreadsheet. It just plays right here. But now I'm recording my voice as an audio. So that's the whole experience. I think that's like really powerful, really a great experience. I'm wondering if the crew in the GEG group right now has any questions or ideas or comments or thoughts before I push forward if you want me to.
We're just all chatting in the YouTube channel, Greg. I'm just like really, I understand the concept of Moat, but just as we're sort of talking together, thinking about all of the possibilities in terms of places where kids are demonstrating fluency, whether reading fluency or language fluency. I'm just thinking about, the Forms edition is fairly new, and thinking about how that can really benefit and give us some more variety of assessments, which is something that is a standard that teachers in Massachusetts specifically need to demonstrate. So I'm just thinking about, how teachers can use this and show the proficiency of that standard alone just by using a tool like this is pretty incredible.
That's awesome. Fantastic.
Greg, I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are all of these features included in the free version, or is it just the time limit that changes?
Yeah, that's it. Like full capacity of the tool, just restriction of 30 seconds versus 90 seconds.
That's great. That's so exciting.
I mean, right, I think there's value in 90 seconds, right? I'm connected to the Moat team. Of course, I would say get the full 90-second version. But I understand restrictions around budgets and all these sorts of things. But there's no reason why you can't drop 2 audio files into a document or 3 audio files onto a set of slides.
Right. Okay, cool.
Do you want me
the other day with Google Earth, and it was wonderful. I hope they have. Yes, I used the Moat voice notes with Google Earth, so it's not fully integrated with Moat, so it was just the link. But still, it was so easy. So it was with a kindergarten class. It was so easy for me to just record the audio because we have a lot of non-readers, and they're unable to read all the sentences. They might need support. So it was a really easy way for me to just record directions, record the audio narration because we were doing a tour. And it's just so simple. I love it. I really love Moat.
That's fantastic. Can I share maybe 1 or 2 more things?
Yes, please.
We have time? We have time? Okay, Let's do this. Here's something I was actually working on today for the team is this idea of creating nonlinear audio discussion. So you can use a discussion forum or post a question in Google Classroom, but imagine creating something like this where the teacher might start by adding their Moat audio right into the center of this kind of discussion web. And I'm doing that right now, and I'll chop that little M, let Moat work its magic. It'll say abracadabra in a second, and I'll insert this in. But imagine now, we can extend or increase accessibility for discussions where it doesn't always have to happen just live in class. We can extend it outside of class where a student might listen to that and then go, oh, I have a reply, and 2 peers might reply to that. Like, this could be a really powerful approach. You could do this in small groups as well. Like, this might be a small group discussion. We could do things like this, like a linear discussion where every student adds an idea in order, but then you have these like branching little pods where you can have offshoots of ideas. I love this idea of like a spectrum where you have 2 opposing viewpoints or a polarizing concept, and they have to drop their audio on this line of where they fit in. So there's like so many different ways to use this tool. I'll give you this resource as well that you can have as just kind of like a takeaway to think about building these like audio discussions, super highly accessible to kids. This one I think is good fun. We'll stop here with this, and then we'll push forward. I'll just give you the resources. Have we ever made stop motion animation in Google Slides before? Has anyone done this? We're all saying yes. Now with Moat, you can narrate your stop motion animation. Because here's the strategy, right? You build out your little silly animation like this that I did here, my little stick figure and my little Moat character connecting. If you drop a Moat audio file on the first slide and tell it to play even when the slides advance, and then play in present mode, as soon as you bring your animation to life, your narration kicks in the background so you can narrate anything you want. So imagine the creativity that learners can demonstrate if they can bring a concept to life and narrate that concept all inside a super familiar tool like Google Slides that they're using all the time anyway. So there are a ton of resources in the slides. Are you all going to distribute the slides, or are you going to post the links for everyone joining in? Yes, there's tons of resources in the slides for you, everything that I mentioned, as well as some other like Moat for Flip discussion. There's a Moat amplifier package that you can use to run internal PD in your district as well. The very last thing here, if you want support moving forward, you can absolutely reach out to me, Greg at justmoat.me. I'd be happy to do this sort of thing for your school or district as well to get you up and running with this. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email there as well. So I think we did it. I tried to be as concise and quick as possible, but share lots of ideas. So I hope that was a success. Any other comments from the group here before we maybe push forward a bit?
That was wonderful. And I've seen so many educators sharing some Jamboard templates that they've been using with Moat, and they've been quite impressive. It's just people are really, really impressed with Moat.
Yeah, I think what's super powerful to me is like the team is really responsive. Even the Will, who runs the whole company, like he opens up his calendar for teachers to grab 15 or 20 minutes with him to say like, this is the update or this is the change we need. So like there's things coming in the pipeline, and I just think it's a super powerful tool. I love the idea that you can give students an opportunity to either understand ideas better or show their thinking beyond text as like the only entry point. That's why I think it's so powerful.
And I just love how simple it is, Greg. And as you pointed out, it is embedded into platforms that are familiar to our students that we're using on a regular basis. And I'm always looking for tools that do many things. These Swiss Army knife tools are my jam. And I think that, you know, this is what's so attractive about Moat is that it really works across different tools that we're using with students and has so many, you know, whether teachers are creating these voice notes or if, you know, or if students are creating them. I just think it allows for so many different uses that are really across grade level. I mean, Jolie talked about a use in kindergarten. You know, I've talked to teachers using it at the secondary level on a regular basis. And I think that these are the tools that we like to share with our teachers because it can be overwhelming with so many tools. So when we can find something that has such broad usage and across so many grade levels, those are the ones we really get excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny that you mentioned like this spectrum of grade levels. Like there's a lot of schools that have where the younger kids have mobile devices or iPads as their like primary device. So I was working through this process and this idea of using Moat audio via QR codes to have like audio stations in a lower elementary classroom where you can put your audio inside of a Google slide, publish it, flip that into a QR code. And then once those QR codes are posted, all the teacher has to do is change the audio behind the scenes in the slide, but the QR codes are static. So imagine like kids can walk around the room and on a day-to-day basis, what's hidden inside that code is different. So, you know, I have little ones of my own. A first grader walks into the corner with their iPad, they scan the code, and now they get like this really specific audio task or audio prompt or audio reminder of whatever they're going to be working on in that station. So I totally agree. It's really flexible. I like that idea of like a Swiss Army knife. You can even do like micro podcasting with it. Like I'll be making a template like for that process as well, where, you know, just stick with a comfortable environment like Google Slides and have kids add audio into the slides as like little mini micro episodes of a podcast. And that could be built collaboratively because we're in this collaborative Google Workspace. So tons and tons of ideas. If you check out the Moat blog, it's blog.justmoat.me, and there'll be tons of ideas shared up there. Lots of resources available.
That is pretty awesome. Greg, you mentioned your email. Everything is up there. Outside of Moat, what's keeping you busy these days?
Lots and lots of work supporting schools with all sorts of transitions from one day to the next. Like I have a workshop scheduled with a school and we're going to focus on hybrid teaching. And then they go, actually, we're coming back face-to-face. Can we focus on something different? So like just trying to support educators as best I can at a really challenging time, getting ready for the summer. It's a really challenging time, and I'm trying my best to come up with meaningful ways to use technology to support people. So it's been a handful. And I have my own as well that I'm supporting, my own little third grader and first grader that I heard some banging around in the background on your mic. So I'm assuming you're all in the same position as me as well.
How's everything with ed tech teacher these days?
It's awesome. It's really fun work. It's helpful to be in a position to help teachers try to navigate like uncertainty. And it's been that way since last year, like total panic. We all went through it. March, like what's going on? And then, oh, this is what it is now. And like all that uncertainty last spring. It's been really cool to also be able to connect with schools that I would never be able to connect with otherwise, that are like, hey, we need the support now. Like things are very different. So just been really rewarding work. Awesome to connect with the GEG New England group as well to share these ideas this evening.
Nice. Well, Greg, thank you so much for coming, and please stick around. We've got some fun things happening here at the end. But Jen, we wanted to move on to our newsletter. Could somebody want to share what's the latest and greatest and how you can sign up for this month's newsletter?
Yeah, great. So just to let folks know, we try to be really sensitive about people's inboxes. And so we try to pack into this monthly newsletter just a collection of rich resources that we've curated both around updates, events that are coming up, and things that we've been seeing as a group online that we think are really worth resharing because it can be quite a fire hose of information for teachers. Just trying to curate the best stuff and free resources all around. We focus on things that are accessible to teachers for free, and those are packed into the newsletter for you. So those get sent out just once a month, and that was just sent out, I want to say yesterday. So if you're looking for the newsletter and want to sign up, you can just go to our website at gegnewengland.com, and there is a Join Now link that will bring you to our Google Educator group, and you can sign up for that group. You can just get digest emails from the group if you want, or turn those off if it becomes overwhelming, and the newsletter comes separately from our GEG email address so that you won't miss that. And if you're looking for past newsletters, we have those posted on the site as well. So feel free to sign up and join so you can not miss out on that information from our team.
Now we've got a few more fun and exciting things. Let's talk a little bit about the new built-in QR code generator. Who wants to go on that one?
So that's me, and that's my Bitmoji, which at the moment looks nothing like me. So we were talking about QR codes a little bit, just a little bit ago, and I'm psyched to be able to share this with you because this makes creating QR codes so much easier. I think Julie was actually the one who shared this tip with me a few months ago. So QR code generation is now built into the Omnibox in Chrome. So you can see my little GIF, but if you click on the Omnibox, it'll pop up three little options will pop up. And the one in the middle, which is a little bit hard to see that I'm clicking on, is a QR code generator. So whatever page you're on, it's going to generate a QR code. And then you can either, screenshot that, or you can download it as an image, and then you can save it and upload it, embed it into whatever you want. Super fast little helpful tip, but I see so many uses for this, and you no longer have to go out to like QR code generator that's free and then it starts charging you money 2 months later, and that's just a mess. So I also embedded an awesome blog post by our own Jolie at the bottom. I did ask her permission, that goes through this topic, but also lots of ways to use QR codes in the classroom. And so rather than regurgitate her information, I just want you guys to go there because it's an awesome resource. So that's
Very,
my
very
little
cool
tip for May.
And best thing about it is kids like making pictures of dinosaurs, and this does it all for you. So really, really cool on all this stuff.
It's true.
So next thing on the list here, we have Google Workspace release calendar. Who's taking on this one?
All right, so that one is mine. And this is something that I don't think a lot of people know about. And we get a lot of information, obviously through our email or through Twitter or through any other channels that we're getting it through. But this is a really nice way to find out what is happening right on your Google Calendar. So Google Workspace release calendar has everything in it, and you can go to, and the link here in the Add the Google Workspace release calendar link will bring you to the calendar, and you can just click on one of the events and then you can add it to, I'm pointing to my screen like you can watch me. This is ridiculous. So, but you can click on that and add it to your calendar so that you can see it. And the different colors of those events mean things. So the red is for rapid release, green is scheduled release, blue is training or resource launch, and the yellow is other launch, whether it's a notification, a pre-announcement, new newsletters, different things like that. So when I see something coming up on my calendar, it means that I am a mess today, and I apologize for everything going on here. So, but we're entertaining you too. Anyway, so put this on your calendar. It gives you a little bit of a heads up instead of having to go through all of your emails or go through the blogs and read it. It gives you a heads up. I'll look at it and see that one of these little things is coming out, like the QR code generator or something like that. And I know to keep watch for it. I'll tell maybe my tech leads or something like that, hey, within the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing this pop up. Be ready for it. And I can kind of get them prepped with it for information. So really, really great resource.
Christina, I don't think many people get a chance to really deep dive into Google Calendar. I mean, there's so many different calendars that you can add, from sports teams to holidays to, the release dates of things. And whether you're on a Google Calendar or other types of calendars, you really do have the opportunity to get inundated by so many different notifications that are already built in. If you want to follow the Phillies or the Mets or what's the New England team?
Oh, was it something? Let's see, Red Sox.
Something like that.
They're on right now.
Shame on you.
Welcome to our last episode. You can automatically have those brought right to you. It is pretty awesome. So check out all those great things over on the Google Workspace release calendar. Lots of good stuff there. And next, we're talking about sanitizing YouTube videos. Who's going to take this one?
I'll take it. Yeah. So this is a quick little tip that I learned that I've been using ViewPure and some of those other third-party websites to copy your URL from YouTube, paste it in, it purifies it up so that there's no advertisements, there's no comments, that kind of thing. And then, of course, you copy that to Google Classroom, Seesaw, whatever your learning management system is. This little hack does it all in one step. You basically just take your minus sign and plug it in between the T and the U in YouTube on the URL. Hit enter, and next thing you know is you have a sanitized version of YouTube. And even better, on that web page is the copy button. So within 2 quick steps, you can copy that and send it right to your LMS or email or whatever else you're sharing this YouTube video with your students with.
That is absolutely awesome.
It's fast.
And that works with any video or parent,
I haven't met a video that it hasn't worked with yet.
Very nice. Definitely check that out. Hit that T-U. And I will definitely be checking that one out with my students this week. Next thing, slides, video, playback tools.
That's me. Yeah, just a simple tip. A lot of people don't realize that there is a little mini video editor in Google Slides. So if you find a YouTube video or you're inserting a video from your drive and you only want to play a little snapshot of the video, you can actually click on the video in your Google Slides, go to Format, and you can set the start and end time. So if you have a 10-minute video and you only want to play 3 minutes of that video, you can have it start, at 1 minute and end at 4 minutes. So it's totally up to you to set the start and end time. You can also mute the audio. So if you had a video, but you only wanted the imagery in that video, you can turn the sound off for your audience by just selecting that checkbox at the bottom that says mute audio. So I think that's a little handy tip. A lot of people are inserting their end of year videos right now, getting things ready for wrapping up the school year. And I think that might be helpful. So
I love this tip, Jolie. I've been using this one a lot with my teachers as a coach. I personally think that Google Slides is the best video editor that we have, and most people kind of look at me cross-eyed. And if you have a long video, you don't want your kids to see it all. And if you have a video that you want to show 3 segments on, you know what? You make that into 3 different slides, each with their own little chunk and section. So really, really cool stuff. Even this week, I had an administrator say, I want 3 different clips of a teacher observation video. We put it into slides. There was no editing. There was no anything. It was just start, stop, times 3. Jolie, this is an absolute awesome tip. And yes, that mute video audio is pretty cool. It works with the videos, not with our students. Who's the next thing that we're going to be doing here? Time-saving Chrome keyboard shortcuts. Who's this one?
That's me, Jeff. So, yeah, last one up. So, I just love anything that saves me a few seconds and they add up throughout my day. I can't possibly memorize all the keyboard shortcuts, and I know how to quickly find them, but I like to point out a couple of them that I think are really helpful. One that I learned about last year when listening to a podcast that I really love, Shooks and Giff, they pointed out there is a way to jump to the address bar on whenever you're in Chrome by hitting Control L, which is a huge time saver because a lot of times I'm either wanting to change the URL or copy it very quickly. So with Control L, I'm immediately navigated into the address bar and highlighting the entire address so that I can either erase it and start typing in a new address, or I can copy it and paste it somewhere else. So that's a huge time saver. The other thing that happens a lot of times throughout my day is I'm trying to search open tabs. We talked about that there was a way to do that with the little drop down earlier, but you can do that also with a keyboard shortcut, which is Control-Shift-A to search all open tabs. And but you can also use that drop down we talked about earlier in the program. Clear browsing history is something that really Chrome users should be doing on a pretty regular basis. I always say to people, most of what you're doing all day is in Chrome, and you're collecting all kinds of little weird cookies and other things that you kind of just need to dust off every few days. And people have trouble finding where that is buried under the Chrome menu on the top right. You can do that with a Control-Shift-Delete to clear your browser history. And lastly, many of us often click off in the wrong place and end up closing a tab by accident. And to reopen a closed tab easily is to use Control-Shift-T, and that brings a tab back that you have closed. And you can do that as many times as you need if you've closed a few too many times and want to just kind of undo that action, which I have to admit happens to me multiple times a day. Yeah, Eric, I feel it. Yeah, thanks. Same here.
All the time.
Jen, I love these keyboard shortcuts, but I think the comment that we're getting in the chat here is, where do you get the graphics of the keyboard keys?
Oh, so I did tweet that out. I'm going to have to find it again. There is a website. Let me just grab my Twitter feed and find it. There is a website that I found for this, and it was super helpful. So I'll post that in the chat, and I'll add it to the slide so that when we share that deck out, people have it. There is a free website where I was able to find them, and they download as PNGs, which is great for when you're making training materials for people.
Nice. And they're very, very nice looking and very easy to understand. And of course, as we're starting to wrap up today, I want to say thank you guys out there for being here on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and for all the great comments. And let us know that you guys are here, but we are not done yet. We've got some nice things as we transition into our events, or as some people say, meetings. We're all here. All right, let's kind of go into some of the next events that we have. Jen, you want to talk about our next event? or somebody?
Sorry, quickly unmuting, and there's two Jens, so we both looked at each other for a second there, Jeff. So the upcoming events are on May 20th, same time, 8:15 Eastern time. We will be doing a wrapping up the school year with Google. We'll be talking about things like Google Takeout, options for how to take your stuff with you if you're a teacher moving to another district or a student graduating or moving on to another district. We will be talking about some of the kind of cleaning tips to help organize Drive and how to best pack up your classroom to start the year off well and be ready for that. That's on May 20th. And that is with us joining, Jeff, we're going to be joining your the
Ask the Tech Coach?
Ask the Tech Coach podcast so that we can have a bigger crew there. So that'll be really fun.
Excellent. And the next event we have coming on is?
We will be, for our next monthly meeting, which is on June 3rd, 8:15, we will be talking about Google certifications. We'll be sharing with you the trainer certification, innovator, and tech certification, tech coach certifications offered by Google, and telling you about what the differences are with those, as well as some great resources to prepare for those trainings and answering questions from the audience around what it is to achieve these trainings. Since many of us have some or all of these different designations, we'd love to share some of our experience and help others go through that process. And then finally, on June 17th, we will be doing a reflection to action session where we'll be talking about, so much has happened this year. We've said it so many times, and there have been so many things that teachers have experienced that are new, some that we are happy to leave behind, and some that we really want to think about embracing and moving forward, and what that looks like in the fall as we move into what should be a more regular school year. But really, how can we leverage so many of the things that our teachers have gained in terms of their proficiency around technology and their learning around how these things can transform their classroom, and really the best of those things. How do we identify them and move them forward? That'll be our conversation with the Ask the Tech Coach team on June 17th.
And we certainly are looking forward to a great end of the year, great beginning of the summertime, lots of amazing things. And as we wrap up today, we want to say thank you guys, and let's kind of go around the horn here. Christina, where can we learn more about the great things that you're doing these days?
On Twitter. So that's where I'm at. So at Mrs. D, MRSDI. I wish I had the time to blog. As I said, a lot of my colleagues here do a wonderful job with it, and kudos to them. So find me on Twitter.
Eric.
I'm also on Twitter at elawson1977. I was that guy who dated myself when I put that out there, so you can figure out my age. I'm also updating my presentation website. It's bit.ly/Eric Lawson.
Jen.
Sorry, I was muted.
There she is. Oh, sorry.
Twitter at blendedlibgirl.
I am on Twitter at Jolie Boucher and at flippedtechcoaching.com.
And I'm Jen Judkins, and I am on Twitter at Teaching Forward, and that is also my blog, teachingforward.net.
And of course, we want to say thank you guys for checking out all the great stuff. We are going to be here every single month doing some great stuff. And we also have a fantastic YouTube channel. But don't forget to check out everything over at GEGNewEngland.com. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your night to check this out and for joining us here. Don't forget to subscribe to all of our channels here. And thank you for being a part of GEG New England. On behalf of our group and everybody here in GEG New England, my name is Jeff Bradbury, reminding you guys to keep up the great work in your classrooms and continue sharing your passions with your students.